talked before, it's a lot of forks here. So we're looking at forks a lot.
Yeah.
But if the rest of the team could step up, there's a lot of potential. This map is going to determine a lot because this is the pug home. It's the home of the pugs.
Home of the pugs. It's the dog kennel, you know? Home of the pugs. And it's going to need to be something really incredible coming out of this pistol round, I think, for Lotus. Now, we're seeing the usual Ashe and Tori on this B site. Ashe especially has been a pillar stone. Tori, however, getting the first pick there as well. There is an immediate call to response as Ariana Kist is going to take her down. And now bullets fly back and forth, and it's Forks to be the difference maker. We've hyped her up, and she does not disappoint. And now tapping away, but they've been smoked out of this round. They either have to wait or disrespect the smoke, but they have so many opponents on the other side that that's not really an option. Dust2 tucked in. I say crossfire, they don't really need to crossfire because they know that both are here. All they have to do is keep all eyes trained here, but Lunari, that's exactly what they want to see. Excessa got a little bit of a high ground, trying to rein this round back in, but it's Forks, 1, 2, 3, gets it all done.
What a classic call. But it was a perfect call. It was a perfect read. Because you're playing against a team, they're kind of going to be like, there's no way it's going to be a rush down B. It's just not going to be the old classico rush B fast, especially on the first round of the entire series. So they're going to be bringing out the rush B tactic straight away. And it just, well, as you saw, Ashe and Tori couldn't get up into the apartments quick with that quick little boost.
Yeah, that one's a little bit of a shame they couldn't get the boost in there. Nopka, this is a dangerous game to be playing. It is just a fake. How convincingly can she sell it? And yes, it's a gamble stack from Nouns. So not too much high stake on this either. I say that actually they're starting to move Forks on over. Maybe to try pinch at this site, and Nopka just misses the timing on it. Forks with the long-range Nova. This is certainly one of the choices of all time. Nopka, however, he's got 2. That's exactly what they want to crack this round on open. Going for a little bit more, and she'll be awarded it. And yes, they've run into the gamble stack, but they have successfully walked away, cash in hand.
This is a Forks classic, especially when they win the pistol. Normally the shotgun comes out just to rake in the cash. Ready? 6.2k. That AWP's coming out really quickly. Oh, yep. It's already out. That was quick. Even the keybind for it, I don't even have like keybinds for buying stuff. I'm just like, nah, it's fine. I'll just pick and choose what I want. But they got that AWP on speed dial.
They do. And I guess Forks, when you're so proficient with it, and you've been using it so much, you kind of just become second nature. It's muscle memory, isn't it? Jessica's out in mid. Luckily, the smoke gonna bloom, and she's not gonna get caught with utility in hand. And it's Ashe doing all of the damage in mid. They tried to cross. They're not gonna be awarded anything. Forks, that's a missed shot, but it's information. She's gonna back away because suddenly her team looking really weak and stretched, really thin across this map.
It's a great opening pick. It was a little bit messy, a lot of exchange gunfire, shooting through the smoke. Cat is finding that kill, and then Ashe pushing up top of the mid. Just to kind of keep that mid presence and not allow for Lotus to kind of scale forward with kind of like the cover of the smokes. So great play from Nouns. And look at where this leaves Lotus. They're very, very disconnected. One at top of mid, one at the bottom of mid, one at T-spawn. They're everywhere. Okay, they know where the AWP is, so Jessica's like, nope, I'm out of there.
They're not allowing Forks any easy shots, right? They're always just trying to bait out these and walk away with their life, because that's the main thing right now, is you don't want to be the one to lose to be the player to lose that spirals the round, right? Because 3 alive still, yes, it's only 40 seconds left, but they're slowly crawling towards, well, I think Connector is where they're looking to head. I'm starting to really, really worry about this clock, Newt.
Clocks are scary. Time is scary. It's a very scary concept. I think we mentioned it a bit yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. Ooh, Tori spots out one. She's desperately trying to make sure no one's coming through apartments. The flash is perfect, catches out Hawk. Zazu does find something to trade, but unfortunately has left Nopka on her lonesome to deal with this. The flash is good. It's actually going to catch out Jessica's, but she's not able to follow up on it. And 3v1, that's a difficult battle any day of the week. And Nouns, they do immediately bite right back. And even though we saw the AWP on Forks in that 3rd round, it's not going to be the round winning momentum.
As you said in the round, the protocol for Nouns was avoid forks at all costs. They heard that AWP shot at the top of mid and then went away. Yeah, that's on the top of the list. Protocols, number one.
If I was on Nouns, that would be my number one strategy. Avoid forks. Solid strategy. But you do have to face her eventually, and that's one of the nice things that we see about Forks is that she's usually quite fluid and dynamic with where she likes to play, especially on this T side. Catalyst, ooh, gets one, but it's a lovely shot. Again, the name we keep on singing. And now Ash, the B anchor, left solely to defend there and has to tussle with Zazu, but it's actually A where the trouble is brewing. Opka has managed to get herself on site. She spots one ticket boost. She's not quite able to adjust her aim. Ash keeping it under wraps. And now 4v3. They're heading B instead. They've drawn over the rotates. And now Tori left alone to fight the good fight.
Ooh, this is a very precarious situation. If Sessa gets this kill, ooh. There we go. Already you see those two players already ushering back towards the A-bomb side, thinking that they're going to be pushing through connector, but alas, the hits on B and Tori's all alone.
Tori, here's the jump down spot. It is actually just going to back away, but the issue is backed right into Excessa. The lovely timing here through that mid push, and now retake is going to come on through. They've managed to make a round out of what was the most ideal buy for them. Now all they have to do is keep an eye on market. This utility is going to hold off the offensive by as many of those precious seconds as they can. And actually the call to save, that might be it already. Time too low, and with only one kit available, they really can't be affording to let these weapons fall when there's no money in the bank account for some of these players.
Hopefully they can hold on to these rifles, because Lotus are... they're a bit of the debt collectors. The tax women.
They are, yeah. Ooh, there's one. We talked about it. Debt collectors, and they have come knocking. That lovely A1S you had has in fact been repossessed now. And it's going to be Notco wielding it. Ooh, have a look at this. There's Excessa. That's the pick that swings everything there. Excessa single-handedly. Lovely stuff. Now, Nouns, they're going to have to try to do this. They've not got much support around that hero AK. It's really going to have to do the carrying itself here. There's a couple of smokes, which means there is sort of a plan. They're not going to be limit testing. Lunari, that is what you want to be doing. That hero, and it's saving lives. And there's a second pick. It's getting a little bit messy. Lunari going crazy, gets one more. And actually, this could just be it. They peek into a 1-by-1. She runs out of bullets, and that is the only reason that Lotus even stood a chance at getting that kill. Solely based on too many bullets already being expended. Zazu runs out. The reload in the open. It's messy. And Nouns, they secure a second round, and in what fashion to do it as well, mind you.
It's no longer a hero AK, it's a Lunari AK. I'm going to change my tune, Lunari AK all the way, because she was the hero that round. That was sensational stuff from Lunari. They created a little bit of chaos, and just Lunari able to move around the boxes, just picking the players left, right, and center. Beautiful stuff.
Very, very indeed. Now, boys going to come on through. We finally get to see the AWP coming on out here. And Catalyst, we talked about it. More sniper rifle kills than AWP. Now, I'm wondering if we're going to see a similar theme coming on through within the map itself on a slightly more micro level here. Has it online. And actually, they are going to be sending her over towards mid where it's Forks with the scout to try contest this. And even though the superior weapon, there is a bit of a gap in the smoke, they're not willing to risk it. Ash just waits a second too long to throw the Molotov. It doesn't fully spread in time, but it doesn't matter because the rest of her team mows them down, puts them in the wood chipper. And that is going to be 3-on-3 on the scoreboard at the top there. And that round over in the blink of an eye.
Rather it be over in a blink of an eye in your favor rather than it being blink of an eye, not in your favor. So.
Not in your favor, yeah.
Lucky for Nouns, because it got a bit dicey there. We got Ash holding the molly in hand, thinking about her name, Ash, hoping to send the enemies, well, turn the enemies into Ash.
So,
but then the molly missed.
Did they buff the R rate? Because I've been seeing it coming out in ESL Challenger League. I think it was Elian was wielding it. And now we've got Arianarchist, and I know she's got anarchist in her name. She thrives on the chaos, but this is certainly something. She lines up the shots, and that's got a high penetration. She can just go through the ticket booth, and she does get one, and that might be our first revolver kill of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong, Newt, but it's fine because Jessica's has it under control, clicking away, just letting them know her location. She doesn't care. It's the domineering, it's the mental war games, but Catalyst gonna put a halt to all of the shenanigans.
So, the thing is, they're a little bit tone deaf, just like me. That is not the B, that's not the A sound at the bomb. That's the B sound. So if you didn't know, depending on which side you plant the bomb, it has like a little different tune. And Folks is about to pull a rabbit out the hat. All the util expelled by Nouns. Okay, this was very lucky. Tori just got on bomb just in the nick of time. But that was quite dicey. I was looking at the mini-map and just looking at bomb just tick away over towards B, and I just saw all this utility being thrown onto this A bomb site by Nouns. All of them grouped up over towards jungle and connector. Folks was just having the time of her life over towards B. It's so calm, so peaceful.
That is a really rough way to almost throw around there. The term that I've heard thrown around a lot at the moment is inting. And you go to the wrong bomb site, that's one of those really painful ones, especially when you had the numbers. And a good final stand was put up to try and defend that bomb. But, alas, not quite enough. Nouns, they do just manage to rein it back from the brink of disaster. Nouns, they have the weaponry to buy into this, but Lotus, high damage, high impact round with a bomb plant. They can go straight back into the fray. And now Zazu, this is a difficult angle to peek. Orp. Trained solidly, Catalyst unnerving and unmoving, just waiting for this peak. Get a little bit distracted by the commotion that's going to start popping in a mid here. Say that actually, still just standing still. All they need to do. Now, they could overwhelm. The double swing here is exactly what they need to take down Catalyst. Are they expecting her to be playing up so close? They're waiting. Maybe for the 50-second mark, trying to find a nice timer to go on. That's because found one elsewhere, and that's what they need. There's the pick. Fall right back off. Sees the second, though. Tori fully flashed. Can't spot anyone, but hasn't seen anyone jump out the window. The HE grenade is not going to go deep enough to affect anyone, and the rotates there so quick, so swift. Call them the flash, the way that this site is swarmed on top of. And now, 5th round in a row, and it doesn't even look difficult.
Brilliant defense coming out from Nouns. Brilliant stuff. Especially how close it got in the previous round, the prior round. This is perfect. Great little opening from Jessica's, and then that kind of initiated the push from the apps. But Catalyst was already posted up, ready for the peak. So it was a great read from the Nouns. I was just actually thinking a little bit, a hypothesis. I know Ari brought out the R8, kind of a troll move, but maybe it was also kind of the play. The call was make a lot of noise over towards A. I'm going to sneakily go over towards B. And what makes a lot of noise? An R8. And also, when you prime the R8, it makes a little bit of like a rattlesnake. And it just entices the CTs.
It does. A bit of a fidget toy.
Yeah, it's a bit of fidget toy. The CT's also a bit enticed by some eco frags. We always love some eco frags.
Eat those right up any day of the week. I'm with you on that one. I think, it does put a little bit of the fear of your opponent in them. And I don't know if this would be fair to say, but I think it's also, both of these teams have reached a point, especially the likes of Lotus, where their team has very publicly said, we're fractured, we're not vibing well as a team, and they already know that the likelihood of them being able to qualify is dwindling, right? So the pressure's off for them. They can have maybe a little bit of fun for them, because that's what they've said. They're closing out the season for the prize money and to say that they've done it as well, because they competed here. They came to say and put a stamp on this series. I say this series, this season, right? So the fact that you have a little bit less weight on your shoulder, you can then go out and, you know, play the Nova at funny angles, right? Run down the mid and try play from connector onto backside with a Nova, right? Because I don't want to say you have nothing to lose, but the stakes feel less significant. And so they can do these really, really wild plays. And Mirage is the best map for that.
And even wild plays are very difficult to counter for a structured team because they're more about structure. They can kind of read how a player is going to work out. But if it's kind of this wild eccentricness, it's very, very difficult to kind of defend against, especially on the CT side. As already, they get the 2 players contacted over towards B, and it does push 2 players from connector to search more towards lowers and towards mid. And now they're going to get locked out of the start with Linari underneath, gets mollied out and then taken down by the AWP.
Yeah, the rest of the round, this could still be anyone's game, especially with kills going back and forth. Game of cat and mouse. Jessica's is going to be the one to find the equalizer. Unfortunately, Forks taken down as well, and now one after the they tumble, and Zazu, the last left alive, doesn't have the bomb, and it's in a very difficult to recover position, especially with time being way too low. But there's a 7th round for Nouns. I think you brought up a very interesting point, and it's something that a lot of people talk about, is the way that NA works. So you see the likes of Nouns and FlyQuest are the 2 teams that really jump to mind, right? Very, very structured. And Nouns, I was speaking to, I think it was Parks Cast, who was saying that the org has been really, really good with them, especially this season, sitting down with their coach, with analysts, trying to VOD review as much as they can. And the analysis just hasn't worked because structure is great against structure. It's very difficult sometimes to play against an opponent that's erratic, right? And that's sometimes where you see FlyQuest struggle against the likes of the old TSM Shimmer lineup, is that they would play really wild and very out there, very fast, and it would throw them off a little bit. And they've got the better strats and the better fundamentals, but sometimes, and it feels like a very North America Counter-Strike sort of thing, sometimes that wildness is just really hard to play against, even when you've done all of your preparation perfectly.
It's a bit of the Wild West on the server in America.
It is.
I was just waiting for that. Oh, the nade. Beautiful.
That hurts. We've been taking a lot of double nade kills recently, haven't we, Newt? Had one yesterday in our top 5 games. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason why, because it's just so nice. And even with the new like sound effects in CS2, when you get a kill and it just makes that explosion noise amplified by that little bass noise that you get, it's like dopamine hits everywhere. It's just dopamine hits after dopamine hits. It's just
So
who needs drugs?
Tori actually has almost 7 utility damage around. That's her stat in officials right now, is almost 7 utility damage around, which for reference is a lot. That's a crazy amount to average per round. And yeah, if you think about, sometimes you get these nade kills and stuff, but those are very few and far between. Ooh, we almost saw another one there. If that'd been any deeper, that could have been GG, but Hawks, last left alive. If anyone can defend this, it's her. Tori, monumental task on hand. Baits out the shot with a tap, and that's going to be it. Fox does not miss, though. She does not miss. And now final round of the half that we are going into, and I'll be honest with you, I think this is a scoreline that either way teams can pull this back, right? Is that, you know, on your CT side, it's really nice to have that lead because you're going on to what is arguably the weaker side. But Lotus, even 8-4 is good for them. If you can take a pistol, suddenly that gap is 2 rounds. You're not even worried at that point necessarily. Catalyst, missed shot, has the backup, however, of Jessica's. I like this double up in window. The one to counteract anybody trying to make sure that that AWP is locked out.
After the contest over towards mid, they decide against even scaling towards that side. So they decide to push their efforts over towards A little bit. They could catch a great timing here. Both Catalyst and Jessica's more worried about mid, as well as Ash. So there's a lot of odds towards mid, but it should be behind them as Lunari, the Soul A anchor, gets executed.
Yeah, that's a difficult person to lose up front. Catalyst luckily got the teammates behind it to make sure no one pushes her from mid or from catwalk, and Jessica's just waiting for the right time to swing out, but it doesn't matter. Catalyst gets all three, and that is going to be an 8-4 half to Nouns.
It was Lotus that started off with 2 rounds at the beginning. Then Nouns decided enough is enough. So they went on a warpath, 6 in a row, to make it all the way to 8 to close out the half. And now it's 8-4, and it's another start from Nouns this time. T-side pistols showing their dominance again.
And they take down Forks, the heavy hitter on the roster, and now all they have to do is clear out the side. They rush on round, and Cactus actually turns around and has a look at her teammate, goes for the knife. What on earth is going on here? But Notka in the meantime, 1, 2, 3 in the blink of an eye, and suddenly Tori, 15 HP, what looked so impeccable, now dire straits. Tori dancing around, needs to pick up that bomb, actually just needs to stay alive right now, can hear the footsteps, they're not even trying to be quiet about it, spots both of them, gets the head of the first, knows the second, likely dancing around bench, a minute to play with, she is not rushed, and now just ships dancing in the night, but Zazu gets the angle, gets the kill, And there's another pistol round to Lotus. Can they convert it once again?
Jeez, I don't even know how that round turned so pear-shaped so quickly. I just saw Catalyst whip out the knife.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, the knife came out and then Novka was like, no. You don't do that to my friends. You don't do that to my teammates.
The disrespect will not stand.
Yeah, it will not stand.
So it will sit instead. As Nouns have to take a sit on the armory in this one. They are going into this completely broke. They have not paid for any upgrades, not utility, not armor. Actually, I say that there is a deagle, I think, on Tori there. That is going to be it now. Can that deagle find the head of Excess? Now, there are 2 players here. Ariana Kist could be easily overwhelmed, especially with the likes of the FAMAS, but Excessa, MP9 up close. This could be everything.
Great utility usage. Just to keep the Nouns at bay.
That nade is definitely going to force them back. They're reevaluating their plans. The issue that they've got here is that Ariana Kist is ready and waiting. Spots the boost up. Spots 2 heads. Whack-a-mole. Pops the first. Pops the second. Going for some third. Call it bubble wrap the way these heads are flying. And now Hawks tries to find something. Actually, Ariana Kist takes the kill away. Doubles down. Jessica's finds an answer but left all by her lonesome. No weapons to be recovered either to make this even harder. And there we go. Nopka rounding the corner. And that is all she wrote. 6 rounds. We've seen them convert both pistols, but this next round is where they've started to struggle. Nouns FE, they stole away that 3rd round, albeit a bonus for Lotus. Does history repeat itself twice?
You're always in these kind of predicaments. Look at the bar that they have now for the likes of Lotus. It's always that kind of like catch-22. It's like, do I just get an MP9 now? We win the round. Yay. We convert our pistol. Yay. Now we're going up against 5 AKs. That's terrifying. But alas, I stand corrected. Zazu's got an A1S. It's just better.
It is indeed. Unari, there's one. A bit of a response. And now gonna be jumping on down. Tori planting the bomb. Actually, suddenly lost a lot of her security guards. Catalyst is near enough by. The issue that they have is that gonna be that Excessa player. Rounds the corner, gets the kill, and suddenly that's it. That's all the pressure alleviated from behind, and all attention can be focused on sight. Kills. They are actually just all in Nouns' favor. Arianicus finds one, knows the second is backside somewhere, and there's the adjustment, but not quite in time. Tori finds it, and a 9th round. And it does, in fact, happen again.
It happens again. History repeats itself. So if history repeats itself, it's going to go to Lotus now, this round. And then it's going to be 6 in a row for Nouns.
I like the timeout being called here.
Yeah. I like the timeout being called here, but then I was just thinking, if they get 6 rounds in a row, they would have won already.
True.
Where did they get the extra 6 rounds? So we can't really repeat history, which is sad.
It's good though. We learn from our mistakes. We move forward. This is, however, Lotus's map pick. So if they can come back into this fight, they take this, well, maybe not this round, but maybe the next round away. And then suddenly they've got a little bit more breathing room. But Nouns, this should be a fairly run-of-the-mill round for them. Yes, they're on, I'd say, arguably fairly mid-of-the-pack weaponry. It's the utility that's going to set them apart here, because it is a full pelt on Nouns. And Lotus, they're missing a lot of pieces. But MP9s, I want to see something fast and aggressive. They sit back and they play passive here. I don't think it's going to work for them. And unfortunately, well, Ash had the double take there. Still gets the kill, but Forks, there's the trade. Jessica's in middle. Hasn't been cleared yet. Actually, not even spotted the elbow there, and does just let Ariana Kist safely travel back in towards Connector. Still evaluating, gonna back away just a bit, play the corner, wait for any information to pass over to her team on A. She's there waiting for any rotates.
Lotus were able to get so much room onto the map so early on into the round, so they got a lot of things, well, nearly everything on the B side of the map cleared, so that's why we got 3 players here over towards A. And they lock down in very defensive positions. Zazu emerges from Ninja and gets the kill onto Lunari. It's Jeska's lurking from Connector, but it's a wild and whiff spray. It's the only kill for Jeska's here. And Lotus get the round, and guess what? It's a little bit of deja vu.
I've just been in this place before. We've got to throw a couple of pop culture references in there, don't we? Now, Lotus, the gap here is really small for them. And I think that's really important to see, because a lot of the times we've seen Lotus really struggle because the first half has gone very poorly for them. And then they're having to try recover, and they're not always able to do so, right? This is their map pick. They're now on the CT side, where they've probably got maybe a little bit more structure to work with. Forbes doubles down, but it's only actually with the Molotov that one of those comes on through. Gets a bit more, switches to the sidearm, unfortunately not able to pull the gun out just in time to save her life, but Excessa, that is the avenging kill.
I was just checking on the other game. So the other game has concluded.
Okay.
We haven't even finished our first map, but it's concluded 13-10 in favor of Fluffy Mafia. They take the series 2-0. I think the first map was 13-3? 13-5. I can't read.
That's a rough one as well. And I don't think that's necessarily going to have shaken up the standings all too much. Fluffy Mafia, we're still very much at the top of the remaining teams. FlyQuest is untouchable, and I don't think there is any universe in which they do not qualify. I think they are set, their plane tickets already being booked there. And Fluffy Mafia, they'll take second place. They'll be happy with that. That's a requalification into next series, and that sweet, sweet prize money that we talked about as well, Newt. And, of course, a statement introduction into the season as well.
Oh, yes, exactly. Forks with a great little opening here. So we finally found ourselves with an advantage for Lotus. Let's see if they can capitalize on Jeska's answers in kind, but Ari dominates 3.
So stellar. Arianakist has had these highlight clutch moments, and you can tell keeping up with Forks here. That's, I think, where you can see where people are having really shining games, is that they are keeping up with Forks. And yes, unfortunately has had a little bit of an unsuccessful time in the staying alive department with 15 deaths, but the contributions that she has been making, these multi-kills coming through it's always exactly when you need them as well, right? Have you watched Nanny McPhee? No.
Maybe once, many, many, many years ago.
It's the, when you need me but do not want me, I will stay. When you want me but no longer need me, I must go. And that's what it feels like with Arianica sometimes, is that there have been slow games this season, but the games that she has done well on have been the games that they've really needed, and that they've needed to come back from a little bit of a deficit. She is always exactly the missing piece. And it's really nice to see that she has continued to finish out the season with them, because, of course, wasn't a certain fact for a bit of a time there. But yeah, it's nice to see them, that they've banded together to finish the season, because that's a lot. The camaraderie is a lot of what this is about right now.
Oh, exactly. And it's nice to see, well, with Ari staying, they have at least another consistent player within their ranks of Lotus, because I was looking back, every single series that Lotus has had, there's been one player that's topped their scoreboard the entire time, and that's Forks. And then you got Ari, yeah. And then we got Ari there just below her. Most times, sometimes at the tail end of the scoreboard, but at least very consistently performing well to kind of uplift Forks and the rest of the team.
These eco rounds have always been successful. I don't know if we've really seen too many. We've seen a couple that have sort of fell flat on their face. We've also seen most of them going incredibly well for the teams. Now, Smoke is going to be parted by the nade, but actually no information to be found off the back of that catalyst. has stayed deathly silent to jump out the right second, but unfortunately not in the right position to defend the bomb from, and neither is Lunari when she's 6 feet under. There's the defuse, no kit needed. Weapons going to be picked up. I think they're looking to try scrounge something a little bit better, but actually nothing really to pick up there because it was just that real thrift buy from Nouns. Now, the fact that they can do that on the weaponry that they had, they managed to get the bomb down and they managed to take a lot of the players down with them. That's been the really impressive thing about Nouns, right? Is even on these rounds that they've lost in these situations, they have been doing so much damage because that CT economy is so punishing, so difficult to manage. Now...
Sorry.
No, you go, you go.
No, I was just wondering, this is the first time Lotus has taken back the victory since round number... What was it? Round number 5?
Must have been, yeah.
Round number 6, probably. 6 was when they were tied.
6, yeah. I think so. Because they 5-7, it was 4-7.
That's hard right now. My brain is so sleepy. My brain is so sleepy right now.
It's really late for you. Newt here is an absolute unit because when he's not casting, this man is running stats in the background. He is putting together everything for the wonderful graphics that you see as well. So Newt is a trooper. A super trooper.
A super Newt.
Super Trooper is an ABBA song. We talked about ABBA yesterday, won't we? That some teams listen to. I don't want to get us copyright.
That's what I need.
Struck.
I need some ABBA right now.
I don't think there's many situations that can't be solved by a good ABBA song.
True.
The winner takes it all. That's another one. That's an ironic one that we could use.
Oh. Well,
I'm going to be trying to find ways
I
to
just
work this in
get
the
the
whole
winners
time.
here.
Well, they
It
did
looks like
lose
they will
that
take
round.
it. They did lose it, but they did win 2 rifles by saving.
That is.
Luckily.
It is.
There was literally a bunch of Nouns, a bunch of Noggles outside their door, just at their doorstep of apartments. That was quite scary.
Yeah, that is. It is a little bit scary, and we've seen teams really willing to go for the hunts on these weapons and drive the knife in with these hunts at the end. And I like it. I think it's nice. There are situations where I think you've got to be really wary about it. But I think when you know that you're losing and that you'll have the money to buy next round anyway, albeit maybe a little bit messily, why not, you know? Anything you can get, you should. Now, Ash taking a lot of space here, and mid has been something. They've had these window smokes, and Lotus has just been really respecting them. We haven't really seen them try and push for that too much, have we? No, they've not done too much silly jump out the window, jump onto Cat, go for the fight. It's been relatively quiet in mid for a lot of these rounds. Actually, working out quite well for both teams. Oh, working out well, Catalyst and Ash, and it sounded like you wanted to say something new.
I was just saying, well, both the Orbs find these quick kills in succession. I thought they actually traded each other, but last it was 2 kills apiece. But I was just going to say, it's very interesting the way that Lotus are kind of letting Nouns have a bit more freedom over towards mid. They're not quite deterred of the mid presence. And especially with Forks having to be a bit more mobile, because Forks is normally the one to, well, find the frags. But at least the rest of the team is kind of coming on swiftly behind her. So that's great. Because normally if you're in mid, you kind of lock there in mid, especially with the AWP. You can go maybe towards the A when you go into jungle, but B, it's kind of a long rotation. You got to go through the motor hole, which takes quite a while, go through markets, and then you can only get one angle to post in and look at 2 apartments. So it's not very an advantageous kind of position that you want the AWP in. So that's why you kind of see the AWP be a bit more mobile and is nowhere near mid. Like, even this round. Still, we actually got double orbs this time. Excessa and Forks both wielding the big greens.
Yeah, the fact
Is this
that
Dust 2?
I don't know. I've been seeing it more and more on Mirages, these double orbs. You post one usually over towards Van, as you can see, Excessa. Just have that long line of sight down B. And then usually you post one on mid. Sometimes you rotate it. You play it maybe looking towards a ramp, play it jungle. But it's been growing in popularity. The difficulty that you have is what we're seeing right here, Nude, is now that they've got 2 orbs, this bomb goes down, suddenly they've got to retake with these really, really poor weapons that they're not meant for taking space. They're meant for holding space, right? And so it's a difficult one, I think. I like the idea, and it works well for them at the start. I like the principle, I like the theory. It backfires when you are suddenly at a player disadvantage and you have got more orbs on the server than you do rifles. That is where you start to feel the round slipping away a little bit. But I like that they're positioning them one on each side, just to make sure. Excessa has spotted it. That orb now has to rotate quickly. She's ducking and weaving around the pillar here, but it's just going to be peeked out by Excessa. That's a little bit of a rough one. And Forks, retake with the AWP. Do you go for it? Probably not. Your money's not in a great place. You'd want to be saving right about now. But there's intention here to punish.
Fox likes to go against the grain quite a bit. I always remember Forks on Ancient. That's why I'm a bit sad we're not going to be seeing Ancient this series. Super aggressive over towards A main, always pushing over A main with the AWP and finding these opening picks because it just catches the T's off guard, especially on the CT side. So this time around, gonna have to save onto the AWP, hopefully. Tori is lurking about, so the Tori's not gonna press.
Smart idea there. You don't want to lose that. My question though, Noop. If this is Forks, where's Knife and Spoon?
Now that is a good
That's
question.
an awful joke. I'm here for the dad humor. I'm here for those of you who are Nayori fans, Samantha, who was of course casting the wonderful South America game before us, her old duo Tom Pickering was the king of dad jokes on broadcast, and that's the energy I aspire to, you know. I think it was the two of them that coined the term. You know how you've got a dry peak, right?
Yeah.
They coined the term moist peak. And
oh, yes.
if I'm burdened by this knowledge, then I will burden everyone around me as well. I'm not going down without a fight. And talking of people doing the exact same, it's these players trying to push onto site. And it's a rough angle to try fight their Excessa. Maybe just staying back would have been a little bit safer, albeit not for long. Now, Ariana Kiss has the angle. They spot her. She does get one because they're both looking the wrong way as they round the corner, but an immediate trade, 3v4 favoring Nouns, and even more so now that Zazu drops.
Oh.
There you go.
Timing's not in their favor.
No, it's not, is it? No, now, Forks jumps on out. It's ballsy, it's confident, gets one. Actually, is awarded the space to work with, but is not awarded the health or the weaponry to wield around in a clutch like that. And that does put Nouns on map points. On, of course, Lotus's map pick. This would be a really nice one to steal away. But final round of regulation. And yes, the weaponry isn't great, but we've talked about this, haven't we? We've talked about how these weaker buys have been finding real grounds in this map. So overtime still ominously lurking in the background.
Oh, this is a great push from Lotus. They're clearing all the way over towards A, pushed all the way into T spawn. Timing's impeccable here, so they're kind of isolating where these players can be. So once they kind of re-clear over towards Palace, they kind of get they're gonna get the message. But I think they got the message here that there's a lot of presence over towards B, but it's all a ruse because the bomb is still in mid. The break kill from Forks evens out the numbers, but the firepower still favors the Nouns. But Forks with the Scout is just doing the unthinkable.
This round, anyone's game here. Catalyst, she spotted somebody out here. Just back to the weapon. She's toying between the two. And Ash lines them up. 1, 2, and the round is done. And that is so beautifully done. And you can see they are so excited. They're really happy with themselves because that's the round the series they needed to pick up here. But that final round, I got a little bit scared for them because Excessa threw that Molotov that split the attacking up, right? And actually, I think that turned out working quite well for them because they still had that presence in apartment that could maybe distract and keep the hidden presence, the secret shine that Ash had waiting for us ready. But Nouns FE, that's the map winner for this. Going into Dust2, which is their map pick, their home ground, their breeding ground here. And now, this is going to be a hell of a series that needs to be brought back from Lotus.
This is some great momentum from Nouns. Because we say this, we were talking about this is a map victory. Like, oh yeah, it's a map victory. This is the first map victory Nouns have had in 4 series during ESL Impact Season 6. That's crazy. So they got their first series was against Aware. It was a 2-0. Then afterwards, they played against Fluffy Mafia, aka it used to be Lumen, Dark West Red, TSM, and then Impact. And every single series went 0-2 in favor of the opposition. So finally, a map victory underneath their belts. And that was kind of their crutch that was holding them in this rut. It's just the looming fact that they haven't won a map in so long. And it hasn't even been close. So finally, they get the victory. And I think that's going to give them some great momentum going into Dust2. Because we didn't really expect Dust2 to be picked by them. So why is that the case?
Oh. I don't know, really. I think it's a map that both of these teams, it has to kind of be in the map pool, because it's neither of their permabans, right? So it has to be something that they've got a strategy available for, something in the bag for if it comes up. Right now, both of these teams are in that limbo where they're like, yeah, we're happy to play it. We'd rather not, but we're happy to do so. So maybe a little bit of a punish pick coming out here as well, because they can be like, yes, right? We're both in the same position. So why don't we just go for it, right? If we go in, we have the confidence, we're feeling it. That will be the thing that steps us up and sets us apart. But I think maybe something to have a little bit of a look at is the AWPs in this series, right? Because the head-to-head that we want to have a look at here is the Battle of the AWPs, because they were used in very different ways, weren't they? So we see on the side of Catalyst constantly being shut out of mid, but just not really caring to play there. Forks, however, was allowed to run rampant. However, it's not really the victory that we saw even with Forks coming out on top here.
Oh, that's the thing, because Forks is on top yet again. But where's the rest of the team? The rest of the team were there. It was a very close fight, but it's just, it's more like exit frags and not getting those like impact frags, because they're getting kills. They're just not impacting the verdict of the round. That's the thing. So these great picks from Forks, they can't get capitalized on. For Catalyst, she's just picking off players left, right, and center. It's great stuff from Catalyst. And then the rest of the team, we're finding those impact frags. Every single one of them, we're finding those impact frags. But that's the thing. With Team Counter-Strike, you make sure that every frag is an impact frag. So you make sure that you can kind of scale upon it or even build upon it to find a way to actually win the round. Well, for Lotus, it's like, oh, cool, I got a frag. Now what do I do with it? Where do I go? Do I have the information of what this player normally plays? If they're on the CT side, where did I get this pick? Is this player normally here? Can I like take advantage of this? Can I push onto the B side now that I've got the sole B anchor that was just looming around over towards Cat this time around? So that can kind of signal, oh, B's clear. Maybe that's the thing that they kind of lacking here. With Forks getting the kills, they just didn't know what the kills meant. So it's kind of trying to figure out the puzzle pieces, so to speak.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the big things that you see time and time again from this Lotus roster. As we've talked about it, we've talked time and time again, broken record, you'll hear us say it throughout the series. They're going to be playing a lot more individually because what they had at the start of the season was working okay, right? But then they had the fracture, people were arguing, right? So the fact that they're still playing this season is a marvel to quite a few people, I think. And they're going to be a little bit more out for themselves than playing in this structured, cohesive way. Because when you've had these arguments, when you've got this little bit of tension, it's not going to be the most cohesive communication. And that's where people like Fork shine, because you're going to be relying on individuals stepping up rather than the systematic taking of map control and the fluent and flawless communication that you'd want to see coming out from Nouns here. And that's where you see, Forks is getting the kills, they're not having the impact. Whereas, Catalyst, it's less, but it feels like more. That is, however, going to be us done for map number 1, Dust2. We've got a very dusty map pool today, don't we? We've got Mirage, Anubis, and Dust2. We've got a very beige sort of veto lined up for us, but we are going to head to a little bit of a break whilst we get Dust2 ready for you guys, but it's going to be amazing, especially if that map is anything to go by, so don't go too far. Keep us open in the corner of your monitor because you're going to want to come back for Dust2.
Flashing lights never end. What shell shock never to mend. Walk a mile for a friend. Times how you choose it to spend. Strike a match, a burning end. We're waiting for the descent. Close your eyes for the bend. We're driving up, so when we roll, we're always home. Will this day ever end? We're stuck, we playing just how it goes. So when you're far from home, with no place left to go, you shouldn't feel alone. No, don't you ever slow, 'cause you are gold. Yeah, we are never letting go, never letting go, 'cause you are gold. Yeah, we are never letting go, never letting go, 'cause you are gold. Lost out at sea, and then my hopes capsized and I sunk again. I've been searching the broken wreck, piecing together what's left of them. So when we roll, we're always home. Will this day ever end? We're stuck, we playing just how it goes. So when you're far from home, with no place left to go, you shouldn't feel alone. No, don't you ever slow, 'cause you are gold. Yeah, we are never letting go, never letting go, 'cause you are gold. Yeah, we are never letting go, never letting go, 'cause you are gold. So when you're far from home, with no place left to go, you shouldn't feel alone. No, don't you ever slow, 'cause you are gold. you will find you're wrapped around mine. Stop holding on to what we had, don't let it linger. The feelings are gone, I'm already done. You think you're God's gift to women, but you're not. You play with hearts for a living, just stop. Nice try, thinking you could hurt me again, thinking maybe we could try as friends. Nice try, thinking you could get in my bed, but you're sleeping on your own now instead. Nice try, thinking you could hurt me again, thinking maybe we could try as friends. Nice try, but baby, I'm better off with some other guy, so nice try. I'm independent and I don't need your approval. I say what I want, I do it a lot. So if you're talking to me, make it something useful, or just like that, I won't call you back. You think you're God's gift to women, but you're not. You play with hearts for a living, just stop. Nice try, thinking you could hurt me again, thinking maybe we could try as friends. Nice try, thinking you could get in my bed, but you're sleeping on your own now instead. Nice try, thinking you could hurt me again, thinking maybe we could try as friends. Nice try, but baby, I'm better off with some other guy, so nice try. Ooh, 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 ooh. So nice try. Ooh, 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 ooh. Nice try. I'm over it, baby, my heart's not in it, not even another minute, so don't even come my way. I'm over it, baby, my heart's not in it, not even another minute, so don't even come my way. Nice try, thinking you could hurt me again, thinking maybe we could try as friends. Nice try, thinking you could get in my bed, but you're sleeping on your own now instead. Nice try, thinking you could hurt me again, thinking maybe we could try as friends. Nice try, baby, I'm better off with some other guy, so nice try. Ooh, 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 nice try. So nice try. Ooh, ooh, so nice try.
I never was a Southern belle, but at least I never kiss and tell. I was broken long before you see the monster inside doesn't wanna sleep. I paid it deep, but I just dug her up. I paid it deep, but here she comes again. I paid it deep, but I just dug her up. And she's out for blood.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for sticking with us, because what a map we have on our hands up next. Now, Lotus, they lost their map pick, and they're going on to a map that they are considerably weak on. At least that's what we are aware of. It's usually a map that they ban very frequently, sometimes even permaban it, but they've played it twice this season. 2 losses, including a 13-4 against them from FlyQuest Red. Now, the side of Nouns, it looks a little bit better, doesn't it, Nu?
Oh, it certainly does. I was looking back at their past records on Dust2, and one of the most notable ones was this season against FlyQuest Red. It was 30-10 in favor of FlyQuest Red, so sadly it wasn't a victory for the Nouns, but it was great stuff. They lost both pistols, so that wasn't great, but it was the likes of Ash and Tori that kind of got the ball rolling there, because those were the 2 players that were going in for those opening duels, and we highlighted them at the pre-show as well. And the reason why is that Nouns won 90% of their 5v4s against FlyQuest Red. And talking about FlyQuest Red, we also, I think it was maybe last week. Yeah, it was last week we mentioned they're very good in the 4v5s. So with Nouns been able to capitalize on their 5v4s, which is like the inverse for FlyQuest Red, it's great stuff from there. So hopefully they can bring that to the table. And it's always kind of confusing because during that, well, the initial stages of Season 6, when I was looking at NA and specifically, we didn't really see that much of the AWP. It wasn't really the forefront of getting all the frags. It was more the riflers getting all the kills, because the AWP just didn't feel right. It wasn't connecting. And for the likes of Lotus, they've got a heavy emphasis on the AWP because Forks is the one that's holding that big green. And Dust2, that's the AWP's paradise. And you were saying that Dust2 is not really the place that Lotus like to go. They prefer to ban it out. So it's quite surprising. Maybe it has a bit too much reliance on the AWP. So it's a bit more pressure for Forks to try get these plays. So it's going to be a tough task for Forks in this situation. And I think that's why Nouns have been like, okay, let's do it. Let's put all the pressure on Forks now. Forks, you get all the kills. Put all the pressure on her. Let's see if she can handle that pressure.
Well, theoretically, they should be starting CT side, unless something really wild has happened. There we go. Forks down long with the AWP. I am looking forward to seeing this. Let me tell you that. But actually, it doesn't look like they're going to be too challenged just yet. Slow crawl through mid, and nothing at all. Very far back passive hold here from Lotus. And Nopka, if she can find even one, that's brilliant. Gets away with her life, and that's the early warning sign. The Canary, but the Canary still alive and fighting. Wants a couple more. Player on car is actually going to be taken down low, but still managing to put some impact down. It is Forks, in fact. And now Jessica's on site, has to reload, and Ariana Kiss can take advantage. And Lotus with another pistol round. This makes them 3 for 3 right now, right? That's pistol rounds thrice.
Thrice the pistol round. And also, when you go win the pistol and you're on the CT side, what does Forks buy? It's the Nova time as well. It's Nova time, baby. We love to see it. But that's quite interesting. They've won 3 pistols. They won both pistols on Mirage. But they didn't win the map. So the importance of the pistols, especially, well, initial stages of MR12, pistols are like, wow, you got to win the pistol. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the map. It's pointless. If you lose the pistol, just type disconnect in the console and exit. Leave. The game's done. But nowadays, especially recently, we've seen a lot of the recoveries in the later parts of the halves from these teams. That's quite interesting to see.
I'm a little bit worried. There we go. There's contact in mid. My worry is that if Forks can't come over quickly, that weapon is... The Nova's hard to take space with. Ariana Kiss gets one. Keeping cool. Manages to get a third, actually. They line up for her. Now Tori does finally find the kill, but it's too little too late because Forks in the meantime's gone round the world, and I don't think they expected a shotgun right pointing at their spinal cord. But that is exactly the fate that they have found. And Forks doesn't die. And there's no weapon to pick up, which means, do you know what we get to see? Nope. We get to see another round with the Nova.
I don't think so. I think we've seen it before. She's going to drop it, and there's the AWP. Got it on speed dial.
That's a shame. That's, you know, I was looking forward to that. Downtrodden now. I'm a big fan of the Nova. Imagine if Nouns, they can buy into this one, right? Imagine if they see the Nova and they go, you know what? Do you know what would be really funny? They won't, though. They're actually just avoiding that whole area of the map. Now, they've actually had a little bit of a poke towards B, which is more than what we've seen them do before, albeit a very, very, very gentle tap on the shoulder of B, because that smoke comes out and they're not willing to even risk the spray through damaging them in the slightest, especially knowing that this is a bonus round where the MP9 and the FAMAS still lie, and so this is going to be rough. Lunari, however, that's a nice one to find. Nopka. There's a flash over the top to deter them from pushing her, and that's going to buy her enough time to somewhat hastily throw herself up onto the catwalk here. And Nouns, they have a very similar idea. They also want to take catwalk control. Nopka had contact before in mid, has jumped all the way up and is taking some more over towards A. She's here, there, and everywhere. Manages to find one. Forks not able to be traded out there, and actually Catalyst doubling down and swinging the advantage in their favor, and now a retake is going to be on hand. Both of these B players unknown, however. They could come from anywhere, and maybe they're assuming they'll come through spawn. That is not the case, however.
They do have that short smoke to kind of bide a little bit more time. And there was a re-smoke from the CTs to allow them push themselves onto the sides. Catalyst on the top of the car. Tries to peek on over. The shots don't land. Damaged up, but there's still 3 players left for the Nouns. Ash from the Goose. She picks and finds one.
There's another. Knows where the last is, but the difficulty is no time even for the defuse, even with enough cover to safely get it from long, potentially. That is, that's not going to unfortunately be around. It is, however, an AK. A weapon that they cannot buy on the CT side and will be very lucky to have. That is a rare commodity. And now the real question is who gets to wield it. Now, my take on the matter is whoever saves the weapon gets to keep it, right? Unless, of course, it's an AWP and you are not the AWP, right? But sometimes other teams have other ideas. Does look like Zazu will be the one wielding it, though.
This is a great play. Top mid smoke immediately allows them to push all the way up top and kind of take the fight to them. Well, the fight was taken to them. And it's just that lone AK.
I like the idea of the fast CT plays on rounds that you have pistols, especially the pistol round. I've been seeing that come out a bit recently, is where, you know, first 20 seconds of the round and you're in your opponent's spawn. It's certainly a way to play it, and I think if you can get the drop on players, the issue is that early into the round, especially in mid, there's a lot of people grouped up, right? There's these large groups of people, and when all of them have rifles pointed towards your head, that's not a fight that the pistols end up winning most of the time. Bomb goes down, and now Zazu just saving that AK. This AK will not be allowed to touch the floor.
Hopefully Zazu can hold on to it. Because it's like my precious. Yeah, there's the precious, and then she kind of feels that some lava is present, or like a volcano, so that's very deadly to the precious.
I thought you were going to give us an impression for a second, like go full
Golem.
Golem, yeah.
I think I tried it before, but then I literally yacked up a hairball afterwards.
Oh,
and I was like, wait a minute.
Newt secretly Puss in Boots. Ooh, damage at the end there, saved by the bell. Milliseconds in that one. But luckily, AK still alive and well, everyone. This is your daily, roundly AK check-in. It's fine. It's still going. Barely, but it's here. And it's still on Zazu. Now, the rest of the team, they've been forcing into these, and it meant that their economy is constantly on the rope here. Folks, this angle with the scout is really nice one to play because you have the maneuverability with it to go wild, right? So peeking this with the scout, you have the flexibility to get out of the way and dodge these bullets a little bit more easily, which is nice. Can Forks find anything more with the off-brand version of her signature weapon? Ooh, that HE grenade could be spicy. Actually, it doesn't go deep enough to do much damage to anyone other than Nopka. Ryanakist watches her teammate fell, and that is going to be a smoke to put some distance. It has, however, left a bit of an odd situation for Ash. She's split up from her team, and now she's got to try find a way up. And every angle is being watched. She is pinned into this tunnel.
Well, I was just about to say, I'm curious if they know if she's still lingering about. But Forks already got that info, albeit a little bit of lead. But it's info nonetheless. But Forks is still alive and kicking with 2 HP. I think it was the series, the Killers versus the Capybaras. and I heard there was a 1v4 clutch
Yes.
where the final 2 kills were with 1 HP. I'm gonna remember who it was. Oh, it's Selax. So if you saw it on the community broadcast, you gotta send it to me. I want to see this clutch. I'm gonna search far and wide for it.
It's certainly been a day of clutches here. Now, this does not seem like a very doable clutch with Forks on so low health, a single stray bullet, but they are still going for it. They have the kill on Excessa, but that's her falling, and now suddenly, that's the problem, because now 2 HP has to do it all, and Jessica, all she has to do, jump up and one of those bullets, lucky enough to hit. And that is what they need. Lotus, this is a difficult spot to be in. They've been... I'm trying to be nice about it, but it feels like they've been really poorly managing their economy here. That they've been forcing into this, and it plays very much into the style that we expected to see, with them playing a little bit more disjointed and a little bit more, you know, out on their own island. And the issue is that it means that you can't get these cohesive buys, and now they're on an eco after 2 rounds where they've just not had a full proper buy here. Nouns, I mean, Ash is still on that Mac 10. That says a lot. That's a list. The AWP, we talked about the impact. Maybe not the highest number of kills, but certainly some of the most impactful. Excessa. Really nice proactivity taking that space to try whistle down, find information for the team, for the stack, as they stand on top of one another's heads. And that is going to be Nouns. All they need is a clear bomb site, and now they just get time to establish these crossfires and make any attempt at a retake, and try damage control as well. Make sure none of these weapons get picked up by a pesky Zazu who's going to keep hold of it for 3 rounds. Nope, that's it.
Oh, there we go.
Very quick end.
That's it. I was actually looking at the economy of the previous round, because you were talking about how they would always like force buy no matter what. But then I was just looking at Excessa, because she didn't buy anything. She was actually dropped a P250. So I was suspecting, because, well, since she had the most economy, she could drop over the AWP. And I think that's, if I'm mathing correctly, yes. Yeah, definitely bought the AWP.
If I am mathing correctly.
If I'm mathing correctly, because I was just trying to see how much she had spent. She had spent 7.1k, while Forks had spent 5.1. So I was just trying to remember, how much is the Kevlar and helmet? But it doesn't matter anymore, because the Kevlar and helmet and the AWP are gone. Well, Ari's picked it up, at least.
Math is cool, kids. That is the takeaway from all of this. Math is cool. Okay. This is a difficult fight, and unfortunately the rest of the team falling. If she loses this on long, it is going to be a problem. Actually, might be the only one left, and there we go. Excessa falls. 2 peek round the doors. And now they're starting to build a lead here. Zazu, did I just see that right? Tell me I was dreaming, that I didn't just see the idea of a P90 floated.
Well, you certainly winning 5 rounds in a row. And who was going to buy P90? Oh, there's no
Was
P90. I'm sad.
No, they sold it immediately. Maybe a misinput there. And
that's not a misinput. That's purpose.
It's never a misinput, yeah.
You buy a P90 with purpose.
That's what the P and P90
There's only one
stands
purpose.
for. Exactly.
Oh, purpose 90. No, yeah.
I've got 90 problems and a P90 ain't one. Jessica's, there we go, there's the opening. The fact that she's just out in the open does so much damage and spots the player peeking outdoors as well. The information and thus the power is in her hands and the hands of her teammates. And now they can start to move on over towards long. Bomb is retrieved. And they're not even going to leave somebody to try deal with B. They have moved their final piece of the puzzle, Tori, over to help them. Full strength, max capacity, hitting the site. Doing her due diligence, making sure that there's no one hiding in the pit there. Tori going through mid just to cut off any of the rotates. She finds 2, and now Zazu Can hear commotion out and long and knows that the one in mid might be the one fight she can isolate and win, but even that is not certain. She hits the deck, and that is going to be a 6th round, 4-round lead for Nouns as we're approaching towards the end of the half here.
This is certainly what Nouns are liking to see. 6 in a row on the trot. I was a bit worried because the pistol went in favor of Lotus, but I was suspecting it was the same kind of situation on Mirage. But now, yeah, they're really in dire straits here on Lotus. But the AWP is back in play, so let's see where it posts up. You did mention at the beginning of this map you want to see it more at long. It was at long, that not the round, well, not
That
the previous
everyone
one,
was
but the
at
rounds
long,
prior.
yeah.
Everybody was at long, and it kind of didn't bring a lot of impact. Maybe this time around, you'll be a bit more lucky.
That's just the laws of the universe, isn't it? You finally have an orb. You finally get the stars aligning and you're like, yes, I'm going to go long. I'm going to get all of the picks. I'm going to hold down this site by my lonesome. And then that is the one round they go elsewhere. However, the orb super advanced and aggressive position there. I love to see this, and has the backup of Arianarchist as well. But the issue they are seeing arise is that they are starting to be dismantled. Forks has found one. The difficulty now is that her location is known, and it is very hard for her to retreat, especially if Jessica's can find another kill here. Forks really needed Jessica's to be taken out, so she had some room to try escape up long, but it doesn't matter. She's too good. She hears us doubting, gets the kill, proves everyone wrong, and there's a 3rd round. They are not willing to let too much of a lead be conceded here.
Well, they could tie it up if they can. 3 rounds left in it. Can they get those final 3 and make it 6-6 as we go into the half? But the economy on the side... Yeah, 6-6 is a nice half. But right now it's going to be a very, very, well, difficult challenge for Lotus. The economy on the side of Nouns is very, very robust. And it's a great trade from Jessica's. Through the smoke, we take those, we take those.
Those are the picks that we like to see. And now, 3v4, it's very much doable. They're running out of utility, however. If Zazu goes down, then suddenly weakness starts to seep in. Tessa, a lot of responsibility. Not actually going to be called upon just yet, I don't think. And the fact that Lotus, they've cleared all the way through long, they actually know quite a lot about where Nouns must be right about now. Now, they don't know where they're going to hit, whether they're going to go towards B, because they've got no eyes on mid. It could be a jump up to catwalk. It could be going through tunnels to B. But they at least know there's no immediate danger from long or from main.
Ooh, there is a little bit of a crack in the smoke. The smoke went a little bit too deep. Zazu was tempted. Decided to be a bit more defensive towards the bomb site. Gets taken out of the round, but Forks with a clean double. But can't find the person lurking behind from long. Excessor left. The 1v2.
That Molotov. This has just been really, really nice from Nouns. And I think the other thing that's setting them apart is the fact that they are keeping hold of this utility until later in the round, where they can throw a Molotov that either they have to respect, either she has to push through that, take a load of damage and peek into the crossfire, or she has to back away. And that allows for them to swing her. Or, alternatively, just whittle down that timer. That's all they needed to do, because it's a game of numbers, it's a game of time and information. And yes, kills are important, but the kills come off the back of those other things. Now, 2 rounds left in the half, and Nouns, they 7-5 at the half, up. They want to repeat that success, maybe even best themselves. Set a new PB going into this, and Forks has been completely ignored. Ships in the night, quite literally, well, in the fog. Now Forks jumps on out, surprises, and that's probably going to come as a concern. I thought you were watching doors, but no, you were, and instead, actually, she just gets converged upon, dogpiled, and leaving Zazu to try find something here. Just a bit of money, maybe. Tory's low HP though. That might be a nice one. The issue that they have is that bomb is going to go down. And they've got the AKs, so what they can now do is they can send somebody down long as that contingency. And you can spread yourselves out. And so that makes it arguably more difficult. But Zazu, absolutely the right move here. Picks up the AWP, saves it.
Jumping's hard, okay? It's difficult.
Parkour.
Parkour.
Parkour. Parkour, parkour.
It's a great find from Zazu. Finding that AWP. I presume it was commed over where location was. Or it just happened to be there. Otherwise, it's a gem.
You're a gem, Newt.
Oh, you're a gem.
Oh, stop it. You're going to make me blush.
I literally just said what you said. But it's true. It's facts. Affinity is a gem.
Well, you are a sweetheart, Newt. And you know what? I wish I could rock a bow tie. I'm genuinely so tempted.
Everybody can rock a bow tie. Come on.
Everyone, you know what? If you are feeling, a little bit down with your luck, maybe life isn't. I know for a lot of teams, especially in North America, it's been a bit of a rough season for them on the mental. This is your advice. Anyone can wear the bow tie, right? You just got to have the confidence. And that's what Lotus needs right now, is that confidence. Because they are going to be down at the half here by 4 rounds no matter what. If they can make this 4-8, that is going to be amazing. That is going to be the saving grace, the life buoy in the vast, vast ocean that is going to be their T-side. And they can do it. They've got the weaponry. They're lacking a bit of utility, but really in the overall scheme of things, who cares? And now, opening pick, this has to be it, and it's not. Nopka, you can see the frustration. Ariana Kiss next up to fight, next on the chopping block that is taken down. And now the rest of the team is trying to come on over, but has a little bit of a problem in mid that they're having to deal with, and the likes of Tori, and she's still not being cleared out, so they still have to expend Excessa trying to sort that out. Doesn't matter, however, this is the turnaround that they needed. Forks, in a moment of sheer individual brilliance, turns the tide. However, Excessa left in a 1v2. Her team has granted her an ember, and she needs to light the flames of this half, but it's Jessica's. That's the bullet in the head, and that's the 9-3 half.
Well, we certainly see why Nouns picked Dust2. A 9-3 half goes in their favor. Looking to close out this series 2-0 if they can, but Tori is about to get tested. Pushed all the way in low as it gets deleted, but it's Jessica's to find the first kill. The Nouns are dwindling, but Jessica's still standing strong. A great first half, and looking to make an even better second half.
Difficult angle there, especially on the pistols when you get down so low against the Glocks. It is rough, but she's brought her team so much to work with here. Every little has contributed to the lot that the rest of the team can now do. Now, Lunari spots Ariana Kiss. That's a lovely find, and now a bit more space to work with. They can back away. They can try jump up. More heads spotted. They're firing away. They are ducking and weaving. Catalyst knows where both are now. They can hear the footsteps, but they've split up. Now Job, so much harder. Has to isolate these fights. That flash gonna go high. Dodges it. The double peak is immaculate. And Lotus, I think that makes them 4 for 4 on pistol rounds.
It's a good moniker to have. It's a good badge to have. A good award for the pistols. But can you get those pistols into map victories? That's the other question right now. I will say, when looking into the stats as well before this series, Nouns have not been very good on the pistol. They have the lowest win rate out of all the teams, and the even lowest T-pistol win rate, 30%. And I say 30%, what does that kind of mean in the context? Majority of the pistols won right now in CS2, it is the T-pistol. It's just so broken, it's so overpowered with the Glocks. Purely because of the movement, I'm very curious with the new update, since there's no long legs McGee's running around anymore, how the Glock is going to be impacted, if it is going to be impacted anyway, because now I feel that players are a bit more comfortable playing with the Glock. Because in CSGO, it was like, ooh, the Glock. It's literally just a sponge. It doesn't do anything. Now all of a sudden, it's just a machine. Normally in CSGO, you see a USP on the ground. You pick it up. And if you see a Glock on the ground, you rather shoot it with the USP to get it away from you. It's like, ew. Nowadays, you see the Glock and next to the USP, you pick up the Glock.
I'm gonna confess something at the end of this round, and I'm gonna ruin everyone's perception of me. Just strong fighting words here. That's that Ariana Kiss. Lovely kills. These weapons, they really have the advantage long range. And desperate attempt to reload there from Jessica's. There are the people on the site here, but unfortunately isolated, split up, taken down one by one. Now, that's the conversion round that they needed. That's we've now seen that 4 times. This has been the exact same case 4 times. The fact that they only managed to get 2 other rounds and a half, this needs to be a springboard because they seem to always be losing this 3rd bonus round. If they could switch this up, maybe we see the streak broken and karmic retribution restored. Now, my confession, are you ready, Noob?
Yes.
I have always been a Glock player and an apologist. That's fine. I feel like even on CSGO, that was an okay opinion to have. I'm a P2000 player. I don't use the USPS. That is going to ruin how everyone sees. This is how my career dies. This is here and now. But it's because I have a really nice skin for it. And
I see.
My favorite skin is a USPS skin. That's the worst part. But it's the Acid Edge, which is purple, and it's just on brand for me. And then it also kind of became a joke because I was like, everyone was like, why would you do this? It's the worst weapon. And it got people so riled up that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing it.
Well, especially when CS2 came out, a lot of CTs actually switched towards the P2000. I think because it kind of resembles the look and feel of a Glock.
Yeah.
It's like a fake Glock. But you get a USP and you get a one-tap. There's just nothing more sweeter.
I don't get one-taps. That's the difference. I don't get one-taps. And I'm not deluding myself that I ever would. But one-taps, not cur, through the wood and somebody's head. And going for a little bit more. Now, we said we wanted to see the streak broken, didn't we? We wanted to see them be able to convert that 3rd round that they hadn't been able to do the past 3 pistol rounds. And now, it looks like they've done it. Just Ash left. I say that. Hits the deck. That's going to be her done in the round over. And the 9-3 curse, Nayori's Law, has been invoked, everyone. Nayori's Law is in the room with us right now. Because that gap 9-3 sounds terrifying, right? That's a chasm of a round difference. 9-6, however, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. But Sam, Naori, why did you have to make this law? It must be broken, please.
It's because
Nouns
she's from
want
the
this
other
victory.
tactical shooter game where they've been working on MR12 for a while. So she's been around the block and she's seen a lot. But yeah, I'm with you, you know. First she disrespects Greg's and then Naori's law being invoked here, you know. I think she just has it out for me. I've gotta sit down with her and be like, is it the beans on toast? Do you just not like the British? Is that where we're at? But no, she's lovely. Side note, I'm joking. She is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
Nice to see Bardolph back on some more ESL Impact.
Oh, definitely. It's always great listening to him because I'm normally, with the production team, so I get to hear a lot more depth than some other little tidbits, a little bit of stories, which is nice. And it's changed Bardolph. A legend.
A staple of the Counter-Strike scene, and of course the women's scene as well, has been helping out and involved in almost every single season, if not every single event, since the inception. So it's wonderful to have him on back. Nari, rough spot here. It's good to see that Nouns, they are trusting in the buffer that they bought themselves here, right? They aren't willing to risk this, and we saw Lotus do this a lot, where they would go for these really crazy false buys time and time again, just to try put around on the board. Nouns, they're confident in the fact that they have this buffer, that they can just wait this out. Yes, they lose this round. If they can find a weapon and pick it up, awesome. If not, we go next, right? They've actually all just vacated the bomb site here. And I'm sure it's planted somewhere that is safe to be covered from long. But there is a universe, right? Where they just got a little bit too excited to hunt down what is not really worth it. But, you know, it doesn't... There's no point talking hypotheticals, if, buts, and maybes. That's the round. That's how it's played out. Now Lotus only 2 rounds behind.
Naori's law, why? Why?
Curse you.
Well, everybody listening, do not break laws. But this one, break it, please. I give you
law is
permission.
the only acceptable law to break.
Yeah.
That is as long as Naori's law is not an actual law in some countries' official rule books, right? If it is, don't break it. But in the context of Counter-Strike, right? Ooh. That was a nice little slam dunk on Tori's head. Not quite enough to kill her, but honestly, done a lot of damage. That other HE grenade, though, Ariana Kist is hobbling closer and closer to death. Dead woman walking, still manages to find one on that deathbed and sets Jessica's up, potentially for failure, but actually comes out on top here now. Zazu, what can she find here? I don't think she spotted the back of Lunari, but she'll definitely hear her now. That's a pick, but both of these players now are aware that bomb still has to be retrieved, and actually... Ooh,
no.
The parkour today, and you can see getting a little bit frustrated. This isn't the first instance we've seen of it failing, and now Ash, perfect position for the trade there. But it's been a rough one, hasn't it? We've seen it quite a bit today. Players maybe not have done as much KZ practice as they would have hoped to coming into this. Maybe not expecting to need it.
Belv, I wonder why. Because there is no more KZ.
True,
Belv,
sorry.
Please.
Surf.
No, Surf's broken. Surf is completely broken. Yeah, it's still broken.
I thought it came back for a little bit.
It came back for a little bit, but then the recent update broke it again.
Like the one yesterday?
Yeah.
Or...
Yesterday's one broke.
Oh, that's what... I haven't updated my game yet. Because, I'll be honest with you, the panic in production when Valve dropped another major update during an ESL Impact production. Because they dropped CS2 during... was it Season 4? Season 5?
Season 4, yeah.
Literally mid-series. And poor Hedwig, the producer, probably still has nightmares to this day. Because all the servers went down, and then the game went down. And we were a little bit worried about a repeat of that. Talking about repeats, Lotus, they're feeling themselves in a very similar situation here. They're losing these opening duels, and they're losing them by 2 players. You can't afford to go 2 for 0 on these opening kills.
Well, going into the series, this is the situation we see Nouns, like, a lot of the time, and they're winning these opening duels. It's just converting these opening duels. They have been very successful so far this series, but is this coming into old habits right now? Maybe looking lightly, but Ari can't get the kills. Just Excessor left, picking off the players one by one, dwindles it down to 1.
That she's there. They just have to spam on through. She almost gets the kill. There should be time for a defuse. They are struggling to find the bomb. It's going to be very close on the timer, but luckily her 2 teammates' deaths not for nothing. It's expensive, yes, but it's all the information she needs, and that box is fragile, and those bullets are not your friend.
Do you know that position that Excessor was in? I don't know why it's called this. I need to maybe do some research on it, but when everybody's called out that position, they call it Gandalf.
I'll be
Did you know
honest
that?
with you, I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that? Well, it might be a South African thing. There's a lot of, well, different regions have different call-outs for certain things, but for some reason,
Yeah.
that one was always Gandalf.
I
I
might
don't
just
know
be stupid
why.
because I'll be honest, the lobbies that I'm in, if people use call-outs, then well in there. Like, that's more than we usually get. Potentially. And Nuke's got a lot of them. Like, nobody can agree whether it's like Marshmallow, Silo, Twinkie,
Marshmallow
I've
just
heard.
sounds Twinkie. Why is it always
because,
food? I'd be like,
Marshmallows, because back in the old Counter-Strike, before all of our lovely graphics updates, it was just a white blob. It was a very untextured white blob, which sounds very much like a marshmallow, does it not?
yeah.
But Twinkie, no clue where that one's come from. I think it's American, considering that's not really a thing in the UK.
We have Twinkies in South Africa, but they're not called Twinkies, they're called Tinkies. They took away the W.
W. You've also got the best brand of, like, loads of foods. You've got some cool drinks over there.
Won't talk about
And I'm
this.
really mad that I just can't get them in these countries.
Yeah.
It was like a Turkish delight flavored drink. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was so good. It cost me £20 to buy in like a 6-pack, but it was so worth it. But you guys, you know how to do food.
Oh yes. Well, with all of our little cultures here. And Tori's not getting a bit of a culture shock. Throws out the flash while blind and even gets another. Just padding the stats. Forks on the side trying to defend this bomb. It is planted. Time ticking down. 2 players here, but it's Catalyst, the opposing AWPer, to seal the deal. 12 rounds on the board. Map and series point secured.
This is a terrifying position if you're Lotus, because as we said, this is the round that absolutely 100% confirms if you lose this, you are not requalifying automatically for Season 7. You are going to have to work your way through the open qualifier, and if history is anything to go by, and the trends that we're seeing, each of these North American qualifiers are getting more and more and more intense. And that is not a fate that you really want to be confronting. Although having said that, this is a team that they've already said looks to be making a bunch of changes anyway over the off-season. So maybe it's a chance for them to prove themselves. But now they have to prove themselves here. 5 rounds in a row needed. It's going to be a tough ask. And there we go, the parkour again. People are just struggling today. Maybe they've greased it up. They've oiled up mid. They've made it a slip and slide.
Michael Scott was like, no. I can only do parkour. Not you. It's only me. But that being said, also with having to go through the qualifying stages again, maybe, well, I don't know what's going to happen with Lotus. I think the brand, the name of Lotus is going to live quite a long life with us. But there's also a lot of these players that made depart, they've got a lot of experience now, and they can uplift so many more teams now. And then, like, looking at what NA ESL Impact has to offer, there's also Unjustified, a recent new team. I think there used to be Gnomes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They came in the qualifier. They're looking pretty good. And then there was recently Empathy and Phoebe's super team that was
Have you seen the
announced.
announcement for that?
Yeah, I saw the announcement, but that's terrifying. If you go into the qualifier and you look and you go up against that team, you've seen what they're capable of right here with all the players that have played in ESL Impact. You know kind of the repertoire that they have, and it's terrifying. So you kind of look at it and be like, okay, if I can beat them, I know I'm one of the best. But I have to beat them in order to qualify. And that's a very terrifying prospect because potentially that's really an open slot taken away from them. So they may have 3 chances to get in towards the main league, but now it's only 2 slots left. It's just a very terrifying prospect. You feel like you're playing a major grand final, but it's in a qualifying match.
We also don't know what's happening with how many slots to play in the LAN finals next season. Because, of course, Season 5 earlier in the year, North America got 2 slots. This time they've got 1. South America, it was the other way around. They had 1 slot earlier in the year, 2 for this one. We don't know what's happening next. And if there is a doubt, any doubt that it might be another 1 slot qualifier for the region, you need to be forming teams that can topple FlyQuest because they are your competition. They are the only ones that you need to set your heart out to beat going into this. Yes, everyone else stands in your way and it's going to put up this fight as well. But FlyQuest, they're the ultimate boss and they are the ones who decide your fate. So seeing all of these teams forming is going to be very interesting. We've seen a lot of the new teams forming and a lot of roster shuffling mid-season, which has been to somewhat mixed results. So for instance, Lotus, I think having Arianikist stay on the team has been a saving grace for them. But for other teams, it's caused a couple of problems. I'm curious to see, when they have some time to settle down, how this region is going to improvise, adapt, and overcome.
I hope that spray is not an indication that Nouns are getting a little bit flustered. It's now 2 rounds in a row from Lotus now. This is getting a bit dicey here. Okay, the AWP is out still in play after it was saved in the previous round.
They're doing what Lotus did, where the money seems to be in a weird place. Like they went for a bit of a forced kind of half buy last round, which means they can't really buy into this one, which means it's going to be Lotus potentially getting a 10th here unless Catalyst, this needs to be the opening pick. I think it's just a pixel of the elbow. That is all she needs. Arm clean off and the body's not too long left for this one either. Lunari lining up for shots here, but only able to find one. Tori dancing with death and finds...
This is
now.
it.
This could be all over. They're rushing onto site and now they've got to try take this. Catalyst is holding on strong and Alnoka so good. This series needs a little bit more, but bullets running empty. That chamber sounding hollow, has to retreat and that bomb is lost in the middle of sight. And this has to be the fight. They're not going to let her take it. Heads keep popping out and there is the round shortly.